I did 3 undergrad degrees.
There you go.
In 4 years, so it's possible.
3?
3 in 4 years. So, and then I went back after my undergrad, got my master's. If elected, I will be the first Black woman into the Senate in the 164 years of Minnesota Senate.
Wait. First
Say it again.
Black.
Let's sit on that for a minute.
First
Black
woman.
Imagine
In how many years? 164 years.
I want people to vote for me because I'm overqualified for this role.
You
I
are.
know I can do it.
Yes, you are.
I have the experience, I have the background, I have the tenacity, I have everything it takes to perform this job and be a senator for this district. But let's remember the significant historical moment we are in right now. Think about it. A Black African American, I'll be representing that. An African immigrant, I'll be representing that. A Kenyan, East African, a Kenyan, Kisii. Think about that. That's a lot of representation right there.
Yeah.
I know we've been trying to do this for a very long time. Do you remember the first time you messaged me about doing something like this?
Yes. And then I thought sometimes messaging is like a joke. So I said, I have to make a phone call.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how much lucky I am that you are able to actually come.
Yes, thank you.
And have this conversation with me because you are a busy person. You have meetings left and right. You have work too.
Yeah, work and being a wife.
And you are a wife.
Mother.
And you are a mother.
Hey.
And you still can hold this together.
I'm trying. As you can tell, I'm even like just trying to keep it together because it's a lot. But today was one of those days where I was like, this is a sister. This is somebody that I know. This is somebody that has been on my side since I can't even remember. So even if I had meetings left and right, I was like, if I don't make it today, it's not happening. So I forced myself to be here today because I knew how important this conversation is to not only myself, but to you and our community. Seriously, because of the people that follow you, those are the people that I might not even be able to reach.
Exactly.
But because of you and your platform, tuko hapa.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Aki asante. Asante kabisa. Now, HULDAH.
Yes. Who is HULDAH?
Who is HULDAH? Who is HULDAH? Wase mnajua this kagari here. Who is HULDAH?
HULDAH is HULDAH MOMANYI Nyine Chivu Nyamisa HILTSLEY.
Wow.
Did you hear all that?
Nyine Chivu Nyamisa HILTSLEY. Usually, nafikirianga HILTSLEY nakonga your husband. It's
yes.
It is, right?
It's my husband.
So umezintermingle very nicely.
Yes.
That you can't even actually tell.
I have to honor my husband. So yes, that's who I am. I'm a traditional Kisii woman with a modern twist. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. I see where you're going.
Yes, I Nico people. I'm happily married. My husband and I actually celebrated 13 years, my sister, yesterday, of being together.
Is it already? Because
of being together.
I think I saw you dating.
Oh my goodness, yes. Back in 2009.
9.
Yes.
But you mulikuwa kwa social media.
Oh. I was.
That black girl with the white guy.
A white guy, that was a saying.
It was a saying. It was like, that girl. Huh?
Imagine.
And then you go ahead to being a Mrs. Africa, Minnesota.
Oh, you remember that one?
Yes.
Back in 20.
You know, we were like silent followers. We are looking. We are just seeing on social media. We read and we are like, how did she get there?
I don't even, that one was even my friend who actually signed me up for it, let me be honest. One day I'm sitting there and then I get this email from his African Minnesota organization asking me, thank you for submitting your application. And I knew exactly who it was. It was my friend who's been telling me, go model. But I was like, that was just not my thing. Like, I liked dressing nice, but fashion and modeling wasn't something even my parents really championed, so I never thought about it. But I ended up doing it, and I really had fun, and I was myself, and I won. I was like, hey, okay, you too. Okay.
You can go and be yourself, and at the same time be the winner.
Exactly. So that was Wow, I can't remember that. But yes, that's who I am. I mean, I'm a data privacy, data protection professional. This job allows me to work remotely, but it also allows me to travel kidogo too. And I love it because it's something that I enjoy doing. I'm not an attorney, but I'm in the legal side of things, making sure that the company that I work for is in compliance with global regulations. So I enjoy that, but my sister, my passion is community. And that has led me to obviously when I ran for MWANYAGETINGE.
Yeah.
Hey,
Girl,
I love my
that
people.
was something else.
That
Because
was
mulikuwa wengi.
There were two women and
two other
then
women
four
and they
other
were-
guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this was like a really fair election because
It was fair, but at the same time, it was probably one of the best experiences that I had to go through to prepare me for this moment right now. Because my people took me through some stuff. Hey.
How was that? How was that actually? Like
MWANYAGETINGE elections was one of those things that it's an experience when you go through it. Hey, you can do anything else. You can do everything else.
Because remember, if I know well, it's not a position that you are paid for.
No, it's a volunteer position.
Any resources you're using to campaign, any
it's all you.
anything, any energy, all your time that you're using.
Yes, it's all.
And our people
you.
tunajijua venye we are picking stuff.
Our people are good in making sure that they prepare you. But then the beauty of our people in our community is that once they're behind you, they're behind you. But you have to go through some fires first.
Yeah. If you go through the fire, then
you're refined, you're ready to go. I'm telling you, some of these things that I'm going through right now with campaigning for Senate, it's nothing compared to what I was going through with MWANYAGETINGE. Wow. But I'm grateful for that though, because they prepared me to go in here and realize that.
Do you know that my husband called it out?
He did.
He said, HULDAH going for MWANYAGETINGE is not really going to stop her from anything. She's heading somewhere. He told me, mark my words, HULDAH is going to run for something. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
And that during the campaign, I was like, look at everybody else. She's the one who stands out. And she knows what she's doing.
Thank you. Hey!
He did.
I'm humbled by that. It's funny you say that because there's also a couple of other people who approached me and they were like, oh, now this is just a stepping stone. And I'm looking at them going, no, it's not. For me, it's not.
By that time, you don't know.
I'm focused on this. I'm not even thinking about anything else. But again, that was just my community prophesying over my life, prophesying over what was possible. That back then, I couldn't even think about it. I couldn't even imagine the possibility of even standing here and running for such a seat now. It allowed me to, not even just a campaign, after I got into office and established the office and the team and really started putting the groundwork, right? Working for the community like we had promised. It started to teach me what was possible. The potential that was out there that our people didn't even know about. Connecting with the city, the county, the state, and bringing in resources. I wouldn't have ever thought about, what's Hennepin County's role in our community? What is the state's role? So this role opened my eyes up to realize that there's a gap there. Because when you're talking about sustainable change, my dear, it's when you're in there making those decisions. Because a lot of the things we do, to be honest, it's things that if there was a law that was passed, you don't have to work 3 jobs. You don't have to worry about childcare. You don't have to worry about this and this and that. And when I saw those disparities within our community, I was like, hey, MWANYAGETINGE, this is just a stepping stone. Again, that opened my mind to realize our community deserves more than just grants here and there. Just to put a band-aid over, a solution. We need it like a sustainable solution. And that means we have to go and be a part of where the laws are made and passed. Because if we're not there, nobody's going to champion for us. Yeah. Nobody's going to do that. I was talking to a Somali friend of mine. He's one of the Somali leaders here in the Twin Cities. And he told me one thing. He told me that how we have succeeded is because we have understood how the system works. We've infiltrated into those spaces and we've put our voice in there. Right now, when you look at the law that it is in regards to you can't hold your phone while you're driving. But then if you see a Somali woman, they have their phones right here and it's legal. You know what happened? Those people went and they lobbied for that. And it was put into law. It was put into law.
Because me, I usually think it's not legal.
No, it's in the law. So think about what they've done to make sure that their tradition and culture is catered to through the law. So they can be stopped. And sasa sisi tunakaa hapa tu.
So I don't know if we are a scared community because we don't go in there, but definitely the fact that you have started,
yes,
we are heading somewhere. Yes. Somebody has to start it.
Yes.
So, okay, before we actually talk about the political part.
Yes.
MWANYAGETINGE.
Yes.
What has changed since you got in there? And what are you envisioning for the... I mean, you are the president. Tunajua tunasikiza prezo anasema nini. And the vice president is my uncle for your information.
Mr. Menya.
Yes.
So my vision for MWANYAGETINGE really was to come in and bring resources to unite our community, to come together and say, we as the people, we are here. And although the Constitution specifically doesn't say ati MWANYAGETINGE is a Kisii only, because it's an inclusive community. If you believe in the ideals of what we're trying to do, you're more than welcome. I mean, my hubby is a Mzungu, he's a part of it, you know. So the vision for MWANYAGETINGE for me when I entered was to stabilize the community, was to stabilize the organization, was to come in and put procedures, because for the longest time, 6 years, it was just dormant, you know. And so I think we have done a great job, yes, of first of all bringing the community together. Nowadays it's like, oh yeah, we have an organization that brings even Kenyans together. We are seen as the Kenyan organization, not just MWANYAGETINGE, because the Kambas and the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins, they have their own, but like we are seen as we are it.
It's the mother.
Yes, for the Kenyan organizations here.
There's so many small ones.
Oh yeah,
this is the mother.
And then also we wanted to create a path for the next set of leaders where they can come in and they can pick up from there and not start from scratch. Because a lot of times what has happened with MWANYAGETINGE, a team comes in, after 2 years, all of them leave, right? And so that transition of power never rarely happens to the point where the things that we've started that we can't finish ourselves in our term, they continue. So that's what we're trying to do. And by the way, my term is ending this August. Imagine. So
you're not planning to...
You know,
it's not even a question, but are you planning to run again?
I don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of work that we've started that I would love to continue doing, but that's a decision that I have to seriously consider with the team, because we created a really amazing team that saw the vision of serving the community. Because for the longest time, MWANYAGETINGE has been used to take away from the community. Now we're giving back to the community. And so that is the vision. And one of the big things that we really wanted to do, for example, the community center, right?
Yeah, we don't have
People are always asking, what about the community center? What about a credit union for our people? Can you imagine having our own credit union? What about youth programmings, right? So 2 years is a very short amount of time to bring this organization up to par, put structures in place, because I'm not going to bring in a community center if we don't have the structure to support it. I don't want to say, now we've secured this building, 6 months from now, my sister, we are closing the doors because we can't afford the lights, we can't afford this, we can't afford that. And there's a lot that goes into a project like that a lot of people don't think about. For example, we need about $15 million. That means I have to connect with the commissioner of this district, that district, because it has to be a community centered for them to have the buy-in, so that they can say, oh yeah, the Kenyan community. It can't be the Kisii community because that's just too small. The Kenyan community needs a space, right? And so that means we need to bring in more people into the fold. Would I love to just have a Kisii like community organization? Absolutely. But it requires a lot to get there. And to be honest, that's one of the other reasons why I'm running for Senate. Because as a senator, I can champion that from the state level, from the state budget,
Mhm.
to say there's certain communities, and when I use in certain communities, I'm also including the Kenyan community in there, right?
Exactly.
To champion this different resources, including the community space, where these communities can come together and have their own space, which will allow me to also fulfill this, hey, our people need a place to meet.
Exactly.
From the state level. That is even beyond just a county, that is even beyond just a city, from the state level. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I would have loved to accomplish for MWANYAGETINGE, but I think what I'm proud of is that we've established a strong foundation for the next leaders. And I even told my team, if we decide that all of us are going to leave, and if the community says, yes, we are voting new people in, please come on in. We will help you navigate into this. We will help you figure out where things are and release everything to that group and set them so that they can go. So I'm excited about this year and what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to run again. I haven't made that decision yet, so don't quote me on this. I don't know yet. But once that decision is made, I'll definitely pass it along to you.
Good.
And the
That's
community
good.
as well.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And you have your own organization.
Yes. Oh, yes. SANATE.
Signing ups.
My sister, we can talk about that all day, every day.
Let's just touch on it.
Heart.
I know.
We'll touch on it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So what my sister is referring to is SANATE. It is basically an organization that empowers women and girls, mostly in Kenya, to be empowered with through really pursuing higher education in general, just education. Mostly our target right now is high schoolers, you know, and we use sanitary napkins to pass that message. A lot of times it's like, oh, you're passing sanitary towels, but that's just a vehicle to empower our girls to know that even a basic, think about this, my sister, a basic high school education, it allows you to think differently. It allows you to make wiser decisions, just having a high school degree. And imagine in Kenya, how our women and girls are literally second-hand citizens, where their voices are not even heard. If you watch the politics right now, when we're in this political environment right now with the elections coming up, if you look at all of these politicians going around, who are they targeting?
Women.
If you besides the big names, right? But if you look at the MPs and all of these men, they're going and talking to women. They're gathering women together. So we have power. It's just a matter of how do we empower our women and girls to value who they are, to know their value, and to speak out. Because these people are targeting women because they know that if we don't get the women vote, we're not going anywhere. And this is why I always, when I do my project, I always tell women, we have the power to create the reality we want. We have the power to do what? Create the reality we want. Because we're the one who control that. If you think about it, we're the one who control the economy of Kenya. Mama Mbogas. Those guys are the ones who really are feeding the population, are taking their kids to school, and they're doing all of these things. And so my project SANATE is my way of trying to empower our young girls and women in Kenya to know that they have a voice, number one, and to know that that voice is powerful, and to know how to utilize that voice to bring value, not only to themselves, but to the community and whatever influence they have. And sometimes people are like, well, you got the opportunity to go overseas, to go to US, so you have all those. No, you can still make an impact where you are, right there.
And I like how Trevor now says, if you cannot change the whole world, but just change the community that is around you. Just what is around you. And it makes sense. You can do whatever you can in the place you are.
Yeah. For example, like you, my sister, you're doing this, you're educating people about things that some of us don't even want to acknowledge, right? So I've listened to some of your podcasts and your uploads. It's something that personally I can't sit here and digest and put all that stuff together. My mind is not wired like that. And so, but you're reaching somebody somewhere with your message, right? And so if we sit back and stop tearing each other down and figure out what am I good at? How do I bring value, not only in my inner circle, but in the community that I'm a part of? Can you imagine the impact we'll do?
Yeah. If everybody had to just try to do a positive thing.
What you're good at. Nobody's asking you to go do what HULDAH is doing. Nobody's asking you to go do what you're doing. But what are you good at? What keeps you up at night? What makes you wake up and go to work? You know, there's those things that you can't put money on that drive you.
So let's talk about your education.
Yes.
And I know that you have, is it a triple major? Girl, tell me about your education.
Yes. So I did 3 undergrad degrees.
There you go.
In 4 years, so it's possible.
3?
3 in 4 years. In 4 years. I was.
Should I say I was sleeping in school? I did one and it was still tough.
Oh, my sister, let me tell you. Ooh, that was probably, I keep on saying, there's certain moments in life when you go through that experience, you go, hey, that was the hardest. I used to say that was the hardest moment in my life, like going through my undergrad, because I used to have 17 to 19, sometimes 20 credits per semester, so that I can stay on track in graduating with everything that I wanted to do. But you know, when you want something and when you have a drive, and my drive was my family, my parents. My dad fought the immigration system for 11 good years until we were able to win our citizenship. We were 48 hours away from being deported. Imagine, 48 hours away from being deported from this country.
So, like, all of you are already here.
Yes.
And if it meant, because your dad did not have the legal papers will have made him stay here, and that will have meant you two guys go with him.
Yeah.
How was that?
We'll talk about that in a minute. Let me just tie it back into my education, and then we'll go into that.
Okay.
So having gone through that experience, knowing that my dad fought tooth and nail for me to be in this country, to get my green card, and now I have an opportunity to go to school. So you better believe I went in there with the sole purpose of maximizing every opportunity. And the fact that I took those loans, my sister, hey, I put them to good use. So yes, so I graduated with international business, international relations, and reconciliation studies. And in the back of my mind, all at one go. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm gonna find myself in the UN. I even applied. I even went to the UN and to New York and applied. I was gonna be like, I'm gonna be Dr. Akombe. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. No, God had other plans. That's okay. But yes, so and then I went back after my undergrad, got my master's in international business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, if you are out there and seated on an opportunity,
maximize on it.
She's telling you it's possible.
Yes, it is.
I thought I had a degree, but I'm challenged.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm challenged.
We think about how far we've come. Some of us came straight from Ushago. Imagine, with nothing. Here we are. Now most of us do a doubles and we settle and we say, tumefika wapi. Did God stop at the cross and said, now I'm done and whatever? No, he continued on affording us all the grace and free will. What are we doing with that, my sister? Yani, there's some people that I talk to in our community who have been here for years. And I'm like, what have you done with this opportunity? We all know there's so many of us in Kenya, so many, even in your immediate family, who would kill for a chance to be in this country.
Yes.
Who would kill to be a chance? What are we doing with that opportunity? Let's not settle at now to make America. Now let's conquer this land. Let's conquer this land.
Exactly.
And we have all the opportunities to do that. Yes.
Wow. God, so let me ask you.
Yes.
We are moving towards a very important topic.
Yes.
In your life. You're trying to be a senator in the US. I don't know if this is a dream you had when you started your journey from Kenya. I don't know if you had even ever imagined of going into politics. I want you to touch a little bit on your journey from Kenya, and then give me a swift move into what you want to do right now as a Senate.
Yes.